I shall miss them. Yes, I shall miss them.
Hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Thomas, and as always, I'm joined by my trusty companion.
Cool.
Although, I think I'd probably say that I am the companion to your doctor. I would say.
Only because I've seen this before. That's
true. That's true.
But I don't know. These doctors are getting younger and younger. So. Right.
Yeah. It'll be a baby one day. The boss baby. Genuinely wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, well, anything to add before we go into this finale?
No, I'm looking forward to episode 6. I like it.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah. Neat little model shot. Yeah, it's a really cool design.
It looks like it's kind of inspired by mushrooms, doesn't it?
Not quite sure what's going on here.
You go first. No, after you.
After you. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it?
Vicki.
Come on, Vicki.
Very disrespectful to him.
Yeah, very inappropriate. So did you recognise this guy?
He's not in New York, is he?
Yeah, he's the same actor, but in a different part.
Right, so they're not supposed to recognise him.
No.
Yeah, different character.
He's there going like, "Yeehaw, sir!" You know.
Yeah, wow. I love how in Classic Who they just go with it, you know, just have same actor playing multiple parts.
Yeah.
Whereas now they feel the need to explain it. Like, the reason Peter Capaldi has been in Doctor Who before.
Now, you said in the previous episode, Thomas, that you love it when the Daleks face off against other aliens.
Yes.
This episode is just for you.
Oh, I'm excited now.
Chesterton, be careful!
Good shot there that made it look like he was up very high.
Yeah. Oh no, this is very good.
Yeah, it's kind of nicely shot, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is pretty epic, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good showdown.
I mean, I'm a little sceptical about the fact they've climbed down 1,500 feet of cable.
1,500 feet is a big distance, isn't it?
It's a lot.
You will be exterminated. Exterminated.
What a legend.
My dear boy, I can kiss you!
Don't waste it.
All right, Barbara.
Do you realise we could get home?
I don't want to know! I've never heard it! Nonsense in my life! You'll end up as a couple of burnt cinders flying around in space!
In Spain.
You are absolute idiots!
We are not idiots. We want to go home.
Yes, home. I want to sit in a pub and drink a pint of beer again. I want to walk in a park and watch a cricket match. Above all, I want to belong somewhere, do something, instead of this aimless drifting around in space.
Aimless! I tried for 2 years to get you both home.
Well, you haven't been very
It's been
successful,
2
have you?
years.
How dare you, young man? How dare you, sir? I didn't invite you into the ship in the first place. You both thrust yourselves upon me.
Doctor, stop!
Oh, for heaven's sake, I've never heard such nonsense.
Doctor, we're different people. And now we have a chance to go home. We want to take that chance. Will you help us work that machine?
No. No! I will not aid and abet suicide.
Oh, he's as stubborn as a mule.
Doctor, you've got to let them go if they want to. They want to be back in their own time.
Don't you want to go with them, child?
What for? What do I want to be back in their time for? I want to be with you. Doctor, you've got to help them.
Don't you realize, child, the enormous risks?
But it's up to them.
Do you both realize the enormous risks?
We do. We still want to go.
Please, Doctor.
Very well. Follow me. But you must follow my instructions implicitly. Understood? Implicitly. You will both have about a 50-50 chance. Follow me. Come along.
We made it!
Believe it.
London, 1965.
Hey, we're 2 years out.
Oh, what's 2 years amongst friends? We're home. I'll just go and press that button.
I think there'll be some questions asked when the two teachers return without the student that they disappeared with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course they have to self-destruct it.
Yeah. This looks like it's filmed on location. It looks like a different quality of footage, doesn't it?
Goodbye, Doctor. Thanks for the ride.
It was fun, Doctor. Goodbye.
Little photo shoot.
Oh, I enjoyed that.
So did I. Oh, it's great to be back. Nothing seems to have changed.
Oh, well, you wait till we get back to Coal Hills. Hey, how are we going to explain our absence?
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? We'll have to think of something. Better be good, eh?
Yes, please.
Oh, 2 3s, please.
2 3s? You must be joking. Where have you been, on the moon?
No, but you're getting warm. Shh.
I think the decimal system must have come in at this point.
Yeah.
They switched from shillings and stuff.
Doctor, they made it! They made it!
Oh, he's sad.
I shall miss them. Yes, I shall miss them. Silly old fusspots. Come along, my dear. It's time we were off.
Well, you kept that quiet, didn't you?
Well, you know, couldn't give it away, could I? Say this was the last story with Ian and Barbara.
I was not expecting that, because we've got one more story left in the series, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite quite an emotional farewell, because we didn't talk at all during it, but it was kind of like, yeah, the Doctor was reluctant to let them go, and he was saying it was because of the risks involved in using that machine. But reading between the lines, it seems that he didn't want them to go, and Vicki had to convince him. They've got lives back on Earth. You've got to let them go.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think that the some of the, William Hartnell was actually quite sad to see them leave the show as well. So I think some of his acting is not acting really. He's quite emotional. But yeah, it's a big loss, isn't it, to lose both of them at the same time? And I mean, we've lost. I mean, effectively now we're in a completely new era of the show, aren't we? Because we've lost Susan, and then we've lost these two, and so the Doctor, William Hartnell, is really the only person from the original story. So we're moving into a kind of new time. Obviously, Vicky's been around for about half the season now, and she's very well bedded in.
Yeah.
And I think Vicky's good. I like Vicky; she's great. But yeah, Barbara and Ian are a real loss, and more so I feel than Susan. Like, even though Susan's send-off was quite an emotional one, I think Ian and Barbara, obviously they've been around a little bit longer, but just, they're just good. They've just been such good characters. So
yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, I guess a dark interpretation of the first two series is that the whole time the Doctor did actually know how to fly the TARDIS, but he was choosing not to bring them home. He wanted them with him, and then it's only when this new ship arrives that he has no excuse anymore. I'm not saying that's what's actually happened.
No.
But
and And I mean, it's no spoiler to tell you that, like, I mean, that is the last we see of Ian and Barbara. Like,
wow,
they never return in the show, as their own characters for anything. That, I mean, they've not been in the new era. Obviously, Jacqueline Hill passed away. I don't know when it was, in the 80s or 90s. So,
wow.
William Russell is still alive, but they've not returned. So you don't get any more. We talked about the great romance of Ian and Barbara.
Yeah.
In my head, my head canon is that they get back to Earth in 1965, and you see they're all there having a great time. There's a little photo montage, which is quite amusing, and they're on the bus together, trying to get their tickets on the bus. And my head canon says that they went back to Earth, and of course they got married and lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
That's the way I like to imagine it went.
Yeah, no, that was lovely, that bit back on Earth with the pigeons and the bus and stuff. Just very simple things, home comforts of London. I think what was hard about it was it didn't feel like they left on very good terms with the Doctor. I mean, it was really nice that we didn't actually hear their final conversation in that machine.
Yeah.
Clearly the Doctor went in and told them that they needed to self-destruct it when they got back to Earth. But yeah, it kind of feels like they're bending his arm to let them go, and there's not a sense of an event here. All of them having a group hug or something. I mean, they kind of do that when Ian comes out of the machine, but then when they start to say we want to go home, the Doctor's countenance completely changes, doesn't it? And he's pretty sad. Yeah.
But I think that shows how much the Doctor cares for them, because he's the idea of them. His reaction to them wanting to leave is so cross about it. I think that's hiding the, like he says, I'll miss them. I will miss them very much. I think that just shows how much he does care for them, that they were very special to him, and so the fact that they want to go, he finds that quite hard because he doesn't want them to move on. So I like to imagine that when they went into the Dalek time machine and the Doctor tells them how to go back and what to do with it when they land, that they also have a little conversation where they share a little bit. The Doctor says how much he's enjoyed having them, and what they mean to each other, and you can just put that in your own head, and then he goes out with Vicki, and that's all you see. It's left to your imagination. So it's in a sense it's the end of an era there.
It is. And at the end of a Dalek story as well. I'm beginning to think Dalek stories are when companions leave. Well, it was when Rose left, wasn't it? Doomsday. Of course, she came back, but that
Susan's gone. Yeah, she came back in a Dalek story and left again.
Wow. Yeah. Something in that. As for the rest of the episode, it was good, wasn't it? It was solid.
Yeah, what do you think of the mechanoids?
Yeah, really good. I like that battle. But again, it's really interesting with these kind of emotional moments at the end. They kind of overshadow everything else that comes before. That's what's really going to stay in my head, is that Barbara and Ian have left. But the rest of the episode was actually really good as well. Some good effects.
I like that they give time to them leaving, though, because later on in Classic Who, sometimes it's kind of like, 2 minutes at the end. It's like, I think I might just stay. Oh, okay. Bye.
Really, yeah.
And then, whereas at least so far, they've given it, like, a good chunk of the episode has been taken up with it, for both Susan and Barbara and Ian leaving. So I really like that. But you're right. It does overshadow other bits a bit much. You don't come away thinking about the rest of the episode so much, do you? But
which I think is a good sign. I think it's a sign that we've become so invested in these characters that, of course, that's going to be the big deal.
But then I do like the battle scene. I like the mechanoids, and that battle scene is really well shot.
It is.
The way they kind of edited that together, even with the slightly odd drawn-on explosions a few times. It just really heightens the drama of it, because I guess it would have looked a bit naff if they just had them standing in a row against each other and firing and shot, just kind of straight on or whatnot. So I think they did a really good job there. The mechanoids, I like the mechanoids. I think they never used them again, but they did appear. They appear in there was an animated thing in about during lockdown a Dalek thing.
Oh, really?
Where the Daleks and the mechanoids are in it. So we'll get to that eventually. I quite like the mechanoids. I'd like to see the mechanoids return. I'd like to see that because I'd like to see them in that kind of city in a modern day with CGI, because that city looks amazing. As a design. So I think that's a really good piece of work there by the design team. Even when you've got obviously it's all a model shot. It looked great when it was exploding, and they obviously kind of faded in. They kind of did the crossfade, didn't they, of the kind of explosive, explosions coming up and the smoke of the fire. But even when you've got the little model mechanoids going along it, I think that looks really good. I quite like that. So
that was brilliant. And the other guy survived, didn't he? We saw him stumbling away.
Yeah, we saw him stumbling through the forest at the end there, didn't we?
Yeah.
With his panda.
That would be a twist for the centenary if he returns. So I think it was really interesting overall. It was a caper, as you say, very entertaining and comical. So then it made it very surprising that at the end it had this emotional goodbye.
Yeah,
it was quite an unsuspecting place to put it.
Yeah. Well, I see. I knew it was coming, and just kept it from you.
I know. I'm not. Yeah, the world feels a little like it has lost some of its colour.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good story. I mean, like I say, lots of people are quite negative about the chase. I mean, I think when you watch it, you can see why people might not find it to be too jokey, too comedic. But I think if you just kind of try not to take it too seriously, and just take it for what it is, I think it's quite enjoyable. It is fun. It's a romp. It's a caper, as you say. I don't think you're supposed to come away thinking like this is a super serious Dalek story. It's full of lots of really nice ideas, like going to New York and the Mary Celeste, the haunted house. So I think it has a lot of fun in what it does. There's lots of comedy moments. And, like I said, for me, obviously, it's got that slightly nostalgic quality anyway, the sentimental thing of it kind of being this VHS video from when I was younger.
Solid. Well, thanks, Paul. It's been good.
Thank you. Yeah, hope everyone else has enjoyed it. Let us know what you think about The Chase. Let us know what you think about this episode. Let us know what you think about The Chase as a whole down below. And join us next time for the final story of Season 2. Until then, thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Don't wanna hold back.